what we need to collect data epidemiological under the health program. But you know what is happening every time when you are going into the funding of a special program. You are weakening the existing program and you do nothing because the funds you are going to allocate are also relatively small. So to me, if we want this recommendation to work, we have to decide that we need funding at the European level for things which are at the European level. I will expect, for example, that one thing, since I have here your NGO, is to fund the pan-European organizations, and for national countries to fund their organizations. I mean, this is something which is understandable. And also, we need some funding which is going to be a cooperation, because part of this belongs to the European Union, part of this belongs to the national, to the member states. You have to have co-funding. And also the participation of some philanthropic organizations. I mean, you have to see all this in order to understand that if you want to have a program successful, you have to have funding. Without money, the better plans, you can describe anything you want on earth, you are going to do absolutely nothing. So therefore, funding is very important, and we have said that because budgetary, it's important to create the relevant networks for the collection of the data, the mobility of experts. All these need to be funded. Now, what else we need in order to have a successful recommendation? Because as it is written now, I can tell you, I don't expect too many things to happen. Why? There is nothing about funding. There is also the things that will start moving 5 years after this will become and will be signed. So I have to silence my phone. Joanna. 5 years. Because this can be signed, for example, this year. 2009, 5 years, 2014. Why? Since in the recommendation we ask the member states to submit all data of relevant centers, etc., by 2011, the Commission will have the relevant data and will put the implementation of the program, of the recommendation, 2012. So this is my proposal. Since we have the data 2011, we have the implementation 2012. The implementation is very important because the implementation, I don't know if we have Laurence here, the implementation. Maybe all this, the Commission has to produce for the implementation. And you can see that all they need some kind of budgetary measures. So the implementation to me is the most important part of the recommendation, because the recommendation really doesn't say anything right now. So it is the implementation. And this is the reason why I put that as an amendment. To my opinion, and from what I heard from my committee, to the opinion of my committee, all these are necessary, and maybe other, in addition, in order to make this recommendation on rare diseases an effective one. Now, after the discussion we have of my report in the committee, I listened very carefully to what my colleagues have to say, and we added some new amendments in order to make sure that there is a connection between orphan drugs and rare diseases. We added an amendment which I already proposed during the discussion, which had to do with the rare diseases which are of genetic nature, and with a good genetic counseling of the carrier parents. And today we have very good pre-implantation techniques by which we can select healthy embryos. And the amendment says that wherever the state permits that, I mean, we're not going to, and always in a voluntary basis, we can eradicate certain of these diseases. And we have examples. For example, in Cyprus, you know, we have a lot, many cases of thalassemia. The disease has been eradicated. Exactly, and even at an era in which the selectivity of embryos from pre-implantation did not exist. Huh? Another thing, you may feel elated. You may expect, and I expect, many good things to happen from this recommendation. I have to tell you, we should not be so easy to taken aback because things are not going to evolve as we want to. Pressure is very important, and pressure can be exerted by organizations, by deputies, politicians, by the press, by the media, and this is very important because you see, as I said, you can write the best program, even you can fund the program, yet you are going to have poor results, not in all members, but in some member states, because these are not implemented. So therefore, one of your obligations, since you have this previous engagement, is to continue to push for this particular recommendation in order to have implemented the recommendation. And I'm telling you that because, as you know, things that will go quite to the future. We are in 2009, and maybe we'll adopt it in 2009, but things that will happen, if my proposal is accepted by the Council, because we don't have a co-decision here, will be 2012. If it's not accepted, it will be 2014. So we go to a protracted kind of period, and there your pressure is very, very important to have a successful outcome. Because, as I said, nothing is perfect. Don't expect a perfect recommendation to come out. I don't expect. But if we persist, we are going finally to have results and to have better recommendations in the future. And another thing we have to take care of that is to put a mechanism by which a scientific committee or the participation of the scientists, especially the experts, should really transfer immediately the new knowledge into the existing recommendation. You can imagine what will happen. For example, what happened in the recommendation of the early diagnosis of cancer. We have the recommendation 2003, we are 2009, and the recommendation has not been changed. We need to have a mechanism of flexibility and dynamism, and I will trust really the Commission to carry on the job of automatically proceeding to some changes which are accepted and proposed by the scientific community.